Hello, Ungoogleable. Welcome to your life. Today is beautiful. Please log in.
Quand ça change, ça change. Faut jamais se laisser démonter.
Vous croyez qu'ils oseraient venir ici?
Les cons, ça ose tout. C'est même à ça qu'on les reconnaît.
I noticed at the end of the credits 4 separate countries. Was that simply you were finding completion funds in different places, or has it become that difficult for French independent filmmakers to find? Because I know they were saying this summer that Gladiator was the biggest film, etc., and nobody's going to see French homegrown films. Would you have any statement about that? Is it really that difficult now to get funding, or was it just for the scope of this film to do it you needed to go to 3 or 4 separate countries?
I've always had problem with financing in France. And this time more than ever, of course, after Love is on the Bridge. So there was no French money, so I got money from Japan and Germany and England. But it's getting worse, but it's always been the case. I mean, all my films have been failures in France. So I'm used to that. At the same time, now they're being reissued. They're on TV every year. They're only coming in America now. One of my first film I made like 16 years ago. And they do well in other parts of the world, you know, so...
consciousness in a new art form.
And so time is actually just this constant saying no to God's invitation. I mean, that's what time is. That, you know, behind the phenomenal difference, there is but one story. And that's the story of moving from the no to the yes. All of life is like, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. And then ultimately it's, yes, I give in. Yes, I accept. Yes, I embrace. I mean, that's the journey.
And I feel like film can let us see that, you know, can frame it so that we see like, this moment, you know, holy. And it's like holy, 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 moment by moment. But like, who can live that way, you know?
All he could think about was that he was looking at something that was gonna die someday. He just couldn't get it out of his head. And I think that's so true. Now, everything is so finite. I mean, but don't you think that's what makes our time and specific moments so important?
I mean, this is it. This is actually happening. What do you think is interesting? What do you think is funny? What do you think is important? You know, every day is our last.
Like, is this really my life? Like, is it happening right now?
Jesse and Selena are constructs. They're not Ethan and Julie, and they're not me. They're these written parallel worlds saying something about different phases of life or the times we're living in or just what it's like to be a person. How you physically change, how you mentally change, you know, how you're still the same person, but kind of not.
Can you believe it was 9 years ago that we were walking around Vienna?
9 years? No, that's impossible.
No, it was. I know. It feels like 2 months ago to me, but it was summer '94.
Do I look any...
Today was a wonderful day. Please come back tomorrow.
Red, blue, green.
Mic check 1, 2.
Congratulations. You reject the good enough. You reject words like symbolism and postmodernism. Obsolescence is not part of your vocabulary. Every night, every day, every step of the way. The diktat of fashion. The agenda of the color wheel. Gone. It takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. I repeat. It takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. Good. That is very good. We are source decoded. For you. For the most perfect moisturizer. The most advanced cosmetic lineup. Scientifically proven, scientifically tested. For you.
Congratulations. Calibration completed.